Uh, I hope my screen is visible.
Yes, we can see.
Yeah.
And we can hear you too.
Good afternoon, good evening, everyone. I am Tanveer Rahman from Birbal Sahni Institute of Paleosciences, Lucknow. And today I'm here to present a small talk on my research, which is entitled Evidences of Winter-Spring Temperature Influence on Radial Growth of Abies pindrow growing in Kashmir Valley, India. So we all are familiar with the terms global warming and climate change, as these are two of the most widely discussed topics in the recent times. While changes in the Earth's climate is actually a natural phenomena which evolves and occurs as a result of both external as well as internal factors. However, presently, most of the changes that are happening is because of anthropogenic activities. The impacts of such activities are most notably witnessed in the mountainous regions of the world, and hence we can say mountains are one of the primary indicators of climate change. Similarly, the Kashmir Valley is a significant component of the Indian Himalayan mountain chain, and it has been affected by the recent surge in temperature. It is one of the sensitive region which is of significant interest among the researchers to study wide-scale variability in climate. And there has been several researches conducted mostly in the form of you can say trend analysis, where the results have shown an increase in both maximum as well as minimum temperature throughout the valley, while precipitation have continuously shown a decline. Also, there are some studies which have also shown an increase in precipitation as well. However, a major problem faced by the researchers while trying to understand the climate variability is the lack of long-term instrumental data. So, climate scientists over the world rely on proxies, which are indirect sources of obtaining climatic information, and tree rings are one of the best sources of obtaining our information related to climate. Uh, it is very much necessary to have information about the past climate, especially if we can understand the climate prior to the 20th century. We can place current climate change in a longer term context and then study the natural, non anthropogenically driven climate change. So, for my present study, we have selected two sites from the Kashmir Valley. This is a digital elevation map of the valley, where the entire valley can be divided into two broad divisions, the valley zone and the mountain zone. And along with the upliftment of the Himalayas, the valley has a tendency to sink. Within the Kashmir Valley, in the dendrochronological terms, there are four principal taxa which has been found viable for dendrochronological analysis. These are Abies pindrow, Cydrus deodara, Pinus wallichiana, and Picea smithiana. So for the present study, we have used samples of Abies pindrow growing in two sites, Gurnadan and Gornad, and these two sites lie very close to each other. So we have combined the number of cores and composed the composite chronology under the Hirpora site. And these are two images of Abies pindrow growing in the Hirpora site. and we have used a total of 167 cores for the present study. So this is just a slide which shows the number of tree ring works, just some of the tree ring works that have been conducted in the Kashmir Valley. So after the processing of the samples, we have scanned the cores using a flatbed scanner, and the resulting images were imported in the software core recorder, where we have calculated three tree ring width parameters, and those are total ring width, early wood width, and late wood width. After the measurement, these were import using the pindrow software. We have cross-dated. This is just a sample image of what the tree ring width graphs look like in the pindrow software. One of the most important part of dendrochronology is the process of standardization, which is necessary for chronology development. Like us human, every tree behaves differently. They grow at a different pace, and they might be affected differently by different factors. So we need to minimize the effects of such non-climatic age-related growth trends and stand dynamics while trying to retain most of the signals that are actually related to climate. So for the present study, we have explored different detrending options in Arstan as well as in the signal-free environment. And finally, we have decided to go ahead with age dependent spline under the signal free environment as it gave us the best results. So the corresponding signal free stabilized chronologies were used for further analysis. Towards the right, we have the chronology diagrams of the three ring width parameters, which extends from 1728 to 2014. And we have used the widely accepted EPS threshold value of 0.85 to determine the reliable portion of the chronology, where the EPS was greater than 0.85 for total ring width during the year 1767. For early wood width, it was 1771, and for the late wood width, it was 1772. Now, the Kashmir Valley has 6 meteorological stations: Gulmarg, Kokarna, Kupwara, Pahalgam, Srinagar, and Kazigund. And we have decided to use the meteorological data of Srinagar. The reason behind using Srinagar was because this had the longest meteorological record among the meteorological stations, and 4 climatic variables were used, which are precipitation, maximum temperature, minimum, and average temperature. Towards the right, we have a Walter Light diagram of the Srinagar meteorological station, where the blue solid line represents precipitation, whereas the red solid line represents temperature, while the vertical straight lines are representative of humid-like condition. And the dotted vertical and the dotted lines are representative of drought-like conditions. To find out the most limiting factor affecting the growth of Abies pindrow in the Kashmir Valley, we have opted for correlation analysis, where the three ring width variables were correlated with the climatic variables of maximum, minimum, average, and average temperature and precipitation, which comprised of a dendroclimatic window of 14 months, starting from previous year September to current year October. And from the correlation diagrams, we can see that November, February, March, and April are the months which has showed positive significant correlation. In order to have a better idea about the season, we have averaged, and three seasonal averages were uh, selected, which were previous year November to current year April, February to April, and February to October. And from the analysis, we can see that all the ring width parameters, especially with minimum and average temperature, they have shown very strong correlation with February, March, and November to April temperature signal. So from the correlation analysis, it was evident that winter spring condition was a major factor affecting the growth of Abies pindrow in the region. And there are several explanations as to how winter spring temperature affects the growth, and some of them are warmer temperature towards the end of the growing season would particularly enable the plants to produce and store food in an excessive amount, which could be used in the upcoming growing season. Also, warmer winters would lead to earlier snowmelt that would trigger cambial activity, and additionally, higher temperatures would also prevent the plant from getting damaged by frost. Additionally, we have carried out a 50-year moving correlation between all the ring width parameters and the seasonal averages to check for the temporal stability. And we can see here all the ring width parameters were nearly identical in their stability pattern. However, there is a weaker temperature signal at the start of the 19th century, followed by a strong, stable temperature response till the end of the 20th century. And then we see a loss of temperature signal. And this was very similar for minimum and average temperature for the seasonal groupings of November to April, as well as for February to April monthly combination. But for the seasonal grouping of February to October, we do not find any consistent, stable temperature response. So from the stability patterns, we can say that the ring width parameters reveal the total absence of temperature signal towards the later half of the 20th century. And this weakening could also be associated with the inability of the higher altitude tree rings, their failure to respond to the increase in recent temperature phenomena, which we mostly refer to as the divergence problem. And also, a particular reason could be that there could be a change in limiting factors from temperature to moisture stress. And with increasing climatic variability in and the inconsistent nature of the ring width pattern due to the complex ecological processes, this might be more frequently observed in the upcoming studies as well. So this was just kind of a preliminary pilot kind of study where we have tested how ring width respond to different climatic parameters. And presently, we have only processed samples from two sites growing in the Kashmir Valley. And in future, we aim to collect and incorporate more samples from other parts of the valley as well. And the idea behind carrying out this work, this research was that most of the previous studies using the ring width parameter from the Kashmir Valley were based on precipitation and soil moisture reconstruction. And so far, using Ringwit, there are only two temperature reconstruction from the Kashmir Valley, and one was by conducted by Dr. Shah and his group, and that was based on samples of Pinus wallichiana, which was a winter temperature reconstruction. And recently, in the year, uh, Malik and Sukumar, they have published a paper, and that was also based on Abies pindrow, and it was a temperature reconstruction. So this clearly indicates the lack of temperature related study in the region, and we believe our study could bridge the existing gap, and it might open up new avenues in the field of dendrochronology in the Kashmir Valley as a whole. So with this, I would like to conclude. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your interesting presentation there, Tanveer.
Yeah,
So,
thank you.
um, maybe any participants wants to make a question? You are welcome for this. We're here in the chat.
Can I ask again question?
Okay, you are welcome, Tanveer.
Hello.
Okay, then you have
Maybe you can lower a little more your voice. Can
okay. It is okay now?
Am I audible?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes. Tanveer, you present very nice presentation. I want to
Thank you.
ask what is the altitude height of Abies pindrow at Kashmir you have taken? And
This was basically it ranged from 2000 to 3000 meters.
but I think its range ended up to 4,000, if I'm not wrong.
No, I'm just saying.
Okay.
No,
Okay.
in
Okay.
Kashmir, it ranges from
And
2,300 to 3,300 meters only in Kashmir region. So it doesn't go beyond like
yeah.
1,300.
Okay. And your results are very correct, and you should be confident upon your result, because we have got the same result in Pakistan. And
Okay.
because at high altitude, where this Abies pindrow group, temperature is actually acting as a limiting factor, right?
Okay.
So your results are very correct.
Thank you. It felt good to hear.
Okay, best of luck. Best of luck.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tanveer. You're welcome. Maybe another
Yeah, hello.
participant?
Yeah.
Okay, you're
Hello.
welcome.
Yeah, I have a question regarding this merging of these chronologies or the composite chronology. So why the chronology is from the kind of similar elevations? Because what I have, like I wrote for a PhD from before a while essentially only. So I did the chemical phenology as well as the climate growth relationships. What I found is that these the climate growth relationships, the responses to climate growth varies across the elevation range, with trees at lower elevation responding like positively to temperature and positively to precipitation and negatively to temperature, and higher elevations there is not much stronger response. So why are they, like I was curious to know the composite chronology, why are they from the similar elevational bands, the two chronologies that you used for composite chronology?
This was actually not a composite chronology. These were three different. We have not clubbed together. And
You said initially that you had two, you did sampling from two sites, right?
yes. Both the sites were very close to each other within a distance of 0.5 kilometers. So,
Oh, that
and they,
is almost the same site.
yes, it
Yeah,
is
yeah. I
almost
thought
the
like
same site. Yes,
yeah,
yes.
yeah, yeah.
So that is why we have clubbed together both the samples. It responded the same.
Oh, you have got nice and very expected results actually. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Maybe other participant want to make a question? You are welcome.
Hello, are you listening me?
Adam,
Yes,
you
yes.
are welcome.
Yeah, thank you so much, Tanveer, for the nice presentation. I don't have
Welcome.
any question, but I have comments regarding our colleague Tanveer explained about the Abies pindrow. Normally, Abies pindrow in Pakistan also growing in the at the elevations about 250 meters to 3,000 meters. Let's not go beyond 3,000 meter. You can find the Pinus Willichiana, the timberlines, and sometime Pisces smithiana. But in my experiences, I never see a tree, particularly a bee spandrow, above the 3,000 meter elevations. So it just incorporation regarding the Tanveer remarks. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much for your presentation, Tanveer. Very interesting your
Welcome.
topic. So we are going to finish this scientific meeting, scientific event. I am so glad for this opportunity that the universe give us and join us. So I will do the permission of the words for the Dr. Alan Khan for make our closing remark and thanks. Please, Dr. Alan Khan, you can go ahead.
Okay. Thank you so much, Kelly. I want
You're
to take
welcome.
a moment to express my deepest gratitude to the organizer, especially Kelly, to you, speaker, particularly Professor Neil Peterson, Professor Peters, Kabir, and Tanveer. Uh, I'm very a special thanks to Professor Peterson and Professor Peter to encourage us to think broader about the cross dating and particularly about gender ecology. I'm also very thankful to the participant because whose participate make this event successful. I think the lecture delivered by Professor Neil Pedersen, Professor Peter, Kabir, and Tanveer, and some of the professor like Santosh sir also delivered lecture today. But I must uh, were very informative, and special thanks to these are professor who's transfer the flower in us and to encourage us to think more about dendrochronological research across the world. Thank you so much. Enjoy your day. Hope tomorrow we will back tomorrow on same time as mentioned in our schedules. Thank you so much all.
Thank you so much for your words, Dr. Adam. So if any a participant or any speaker want to say anything, you can do it. The Dr. Neil Pedersen say thank you so much for organizing this conference. Yeah, this is a honor for our Dendro team to make this.
Congratulations to you and for organizing such a very nice conference, and it went very well. The first day was very successful, and congratulations to you and all the presenter, all the whoever gave delivered a talk. Thank you to all.
Thank you, Dr. Santosh. So, a lot of words here, a lot of process. Thank you so much. And in other part of the world is maybe at night. In other part is in lunch time. Is at the morning. And we will see you tomorrow again. Thank you so much for everything. See you.
Thank you. Enjoy your day. Thank you.
Ciao.